people.
This is the Eddie Burke Show on Smart Radio AM 700 KBYR and KBYR.com. The best news in talk for Alaska.
Hammer time.
2:23 in the afternoon. Thank you for tuning in today. The National Federation of Independent Business, Alaska Statement on Unemployment Insurance and Stimulus Funds. This is out of Juneau. The following statement was released by the National Federation of Independent Business, Alaska State Director Dewitt, reacting to Governor Sarah Palin's announcement that she will reject federal stimulus money for unemployment benefits. Quote, we support Governor Palin's decision to reject the idea of creating programs with federal stimulus dollars that will require funding after the stimulus money is gone. We believe stimulus funds should be used for one-time expenditures that will not require long-term commitments when the money has run out. Denny Dewitt is my guest. Welcome to the program, Mr. Dewitt.
Hello, Eddie. How you doing?
Thank you so much, Denny, for giving us some time today. Apologize for my cold if I sound a little stuffy. It's true. I think some other governors around the nation are saying, hey, listen, we're not going to get something going that we can't, there's no long-term funding. We're not going to, you're not going to make me buy this new car that I can't afford the fuel for. Isn't that the whole thrust of the deal?
That's exactly the thrust of it. There are a couple of things that people need to be aware of on this. One is that in order to get the federal stimulus money, the federal law requires that we make permanent changes in our UI program. Not changes that are only there for the time of the stimulus money, but in order to get that short-term money, the federal law says you have to make permanent changes in your law.
So it's kind of like, hey, Dad, I need $20 to go out to dinner tonight, go out with the fellas, Well, son, okay, but I'm going to tell you what movie to go to, how long you can stay there, what you can buy as far as treats, and what time you're going to be home. And then you start really going, shoot, Dad, I don't think that $20 is worth it. I'd rather have the freedom to move forward on my own. I know I'm being a little funny here, but that there's really a lot of restrictions being placed upon the money.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the other thing that the federal government doesn't realize, I think they thought this is just another way to tax businesses, but in Alaska, both the employer and the employee pay towards our unemployment insurance program. So this would have required additional taxes on every employee in Alaska.
Wow, I didn't know that part about. That's interesting. It's I guess I'm frustrated, but I'm pleased with of course you guys coming out and the governor being able to stand up to this, because it's so easy just to take money. I mean, money's easy to accept, but having to accept all the restrictions and obligations that go with it is just quite perplexing. Is this a nationwide issue that you guys are covering, or is this just something here in the state, Denny?
The National Federation of Independent Business nationwide is dealing with this. Most state organizations, we're NFIB Alaska, but most of our colleague states are fighting this tooth and nail. We're just fortunate to have had a governor who is willing to look at the dollars and cents rather than the press releases.
Absolutely.
And this is a big issue relative to a lot of this stimulus money, because what it does, and we've seen this many, many times, folks back in Washington, D.C. somehow think they know more about Alaska than we do.
Yep.
And they don't. And this is a time when our governor has stepped forward and said, we know more about our state than you do. As a matter of fact, for the last 2 years, culminating in a bill that was passed last year, the legislature, the administration, and business have been working over our UI program, and we think it's in pretty good shape, thank you very much.
And I think go ahead, Denny.
We don't need Washington telling us how we ought to run our program.
Well, I think it's interesting what you've brought up, and we're going to go to a phone call here for you also, but that what you've brought up is that the fact that it's not only going to drive up costs for the state, it's going to drive up costs for the employer or the employee. And
exactly right.
Yeah, and I think that that's a good. And sometimes people wonder what the NFIB does. Well, here is a perfect case where the NFIB I know a lot of businesses belong. They kind of wonder. They probably like me sometimes. What do they really do for me? Here's something right here where the state director is actually out working and working with the governor, making something happen. So let's take Matt on a call here. We just got a little bit of time. Matt, welcome to the program. You're on with Dewitt with the National Federation of Independent Business.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I just got 2 quick points. One, this is exactly how the camel got his nose in the tent with our school district. And not just ours, but every school across the nation. We will give you these monies, but you have to do this inside your schools before you can get the monies. And then once on the teeth, if you will, you can't get off.
Right.
And then secondarily, with all that's come down with AIG via this porculus bill, as some call it, I'd appreciate it if on a regular basis you would replay Mark Bagan saying, "I read every page of that bill."
I have that interview. That interview is coming up next. And hey, Denny, I wasn't expecting. We're a little short with you today. Can you stick through the break, or do you have enough? You got to scoot.
For you, Eddie, I'll stick through the break.
Well, that's awesome. We got about a 4 minute break here at the bottom of the hour. We got some news and some commercials to take care of, because we have to pay our employees, All right.
I understand.
Yeah. We'll be right back with more of Denny Dewitt from the National Federation of Independent Business.